This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening the next night. And boy, I feel bad going into this because I know we're going to hurt some feelings no matter what we say. Medusa's a friend of the show, but the night after this show, the former Alundra Blayze shows up on Nitro with the WWF women's title belt and throws it in the garbage can. And she called herself Medusa, saying she's always been Medusa, shows the belt and throws it in the trash can and says that's what she thinks of the WWF and their women's title. And she even says WWF by name. And she says now she's in WCW. She used to be Alundra Blayze, but she wanted to come where the big boys play. And now it's where the big girls play, and dumps the title in a trash can. And that's something that we talked about as being a fear for Bret Hart in 1997. Of course, we know that didn't happen, but it did happen here in 95. And, you know, Medusa is probably, believe it or not, best known for this moment. And she has taken credit and said this was the first real shot in the Monday Night Wars. I think most would say it was the Lex Luger debut at Nitro, but she sort of recently started to say this is the beginning of the women's revolution. And some people online have been critical of that. It was a major moment during the Monday Night Wars, when in this era, there wasn't any major moment for the women. So it is cool in that regard. But on your side of the fence, you know, being a WWF executive at the time, was this perceived as being a big deal?
It was oh shit, man. It's definitely a blow. Fuck yeah. And you're watching, you're seeing one of your championship belts on your competitor's show and former champion dumping it in a trash can. Yeah, that was a blow. It sucked. And that hurt. And I think that when you go back and you look at monumental moments in the history of the Monday Night Wars, that's one. It's going to be one of the top 5. It's not number 1. I think that number 1 is probably more than any. I give it to Razor the first time Razor showed up, Lex showing up, and Hogan's turn. But when you look at all of that, this was a big move. This was a big move, and it was a slap in the face, and it was a kick in the balls because didn't see that one coming. Should have, but didn't.
I mean, in hindsight, how significant is it, do you think, in the Monday Night Wars? Meltzer would report that Vince McMahon found out about it from a technician early in the Raw show and was stunned to the point that that's why he seemed so tired and distracted on the live show.
And Meltzer was the technician that told him this, because Meltzer was right there with Vince when he found out. That's how he knows this information.
Well, I'm asking, how did Vince take it when he found it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know that a technician told him. I have no idea. And I was there. So the fact that Meltzer would have that intimate, exact technician that told him, again, I can't take anything that Dave Meltzer says with any credibility whatsoever, because he has less than zero credibility. If that's at all possible, if you can go deep down underneath the core into where the ice cold nothingness of the world is, Dave's about 40 feet below that as far as credibility goes. So I don't know how Vince found out. I really.
How did Vince take it?
I think that he was pretty. I think he was more pissed off at himself and just do you call it the process, the procedure, or whatever the hell that wasn't done with Medusa being out of contract and not getting everything back from her? There's so many things that could have been done better, and I think that Vince takes all of that personally and puts it on himself. So, you know, he doesn't matter where the breakdown came or what the breakdown was. I'm sure he took it very personal and just felt like, you know, son of a bitch, you know, we should have been better, and we should have been better.
Should have been better about making sure that you had your property back, or should have been better.
Yes.
So there wasn't any regret about moving away from the women's division or not doing business with WWE. I mean, with Medusa.
You tell me how WCW capitalized on that, because I don't remember them doing shit with the women after that. I don't remember them capitalizing on Medusa at all after that.
I mean, she was around, but no, they didn't do much.
Yeah, well, okay. Tell me how they capitalize on it, because again, I don't think that there were enough females at the time to really have a big division, and it was something that we moved away from at the time. And there sure as hell wasn't the caliber of athlete that would come along 20 years later. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that there was regret for that. I just think it was a change in business philosophy.
Talk to me a little bit about where the heat goes. Do you guys recognize, this is that Eric Bischoff, fuck him? Or are you guys really upset at Medusa as well?
There was a lot of that to go around, but here's the thing. When you look at Medusa was doing what someone told her to do, and she was going out. Medusa now is working for another company, and that other company is asking her to do this, and she did it. So you got to give, in my opinion, you got to give the credit to Eric or whoever it was that made that call for her to do it. It was a hell of a strike. So, kudos to them for making a hell of a strike and having the balls to do it.
Let's recap exactly what Meltzer wrote. The bombshell came on the heels of a week filled with rumors and signings. Michelle's WWF contract expired on December 13th, and it was well known within the WWF she was negotiating with WCW, and her contract wasn't renewed. So technically, she was fired. J.J. Dillon sent a letter midweek to All Japan Women canceling the Blayze versus Aja Kong match that was scheduled for the Royal Rumble, which we know she said wasn't the case, saying Blayze's contract was going to expire and not be renewed. This decision had to have been made several days earlier, as when Kong's squash match with Asari on December 11th, announcers.
Well, you just skipped that first name, didn't you?
Chaparita?
Okay, very good.
Announcers Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler played it down and never once mentioned Alundra's name, which was a giveaway that the women's division was being abandoned. Several WWF wrestlers had been under the impression that Blayze was going to be dumped after the Rumble anyway. We had heard several reports from Japan that Kong would be given the title in the January match. Boy, I know I'm going to get you fired up here, because you really tried to downhill a few weeks ago talking about this, where you said, no, it was Bertha Faye, even though all the magazines and promos and everything for Royal Rumble said Aja Kong on it. I understand that your point was Aja Kong couldn't communicate the way Bertha Faye could. I get that. But I think you were misremembering it. You want to back up on that a little bit and acknowledge that maybe you misremembered it and Aja Kong was going to be the opponent at Royal Rumble?
She might have been the opponent at Royal Rumble. She may have been. But to put the championship on her and go with Aja Kong, that wasn't something that we were going to do. And it was, from Aja Kong being a hell of a fucking athlete, ungoddamn believable. But it wasn't going to be long term, and she wasn't going to leave Japan long term either. So it was a variety of reasons that wasn't going to happen. And frankly, yeah, when you look at Rhonda Singh and Bertha Faye, she had a shitload of personality, and that's, if you're going to go somewhere, that was the direction to go. Not Aja for long term.
So let's talk about this match. I want to mention to everybody, go out of your way to watch this. December 11th, it's on Raw. So go click Raw, 1995, December 11th. Watch the Aja Kong match, because she does like a backhand punch, I guess is what they called it in the Observer. She broke the lady's nose. How about that?
Well, that's a great worker.
No, I'm just saying, quite the segment. And I guess this is sort of the end.
Again, you're going to tell me that's a great worker to break someone's nose?
No, I'm just saying it might be fun for our listeners to watch. You don't have to get hot about it.
Well, I do get hot about it whenever I go, oh my God, this great worker.
I didn't say that at all.
Is. Other people have, Conrad.
Oh, I thought we were talking about what me and you say.
No, I'm saying that these other people that you quote as factual historians, we talk about what a great worker it is that breaks someone's nose. You know, the idea behind the business was to make it look believable, but not get hurt doing it. And then, so anyway, and the business has evolved.
Okay.
Don't get hot. Now you're hot.
I'm just listening.
Now you're hot.
So let's fast forward again. We're talking about the week after the Asha Kong match. So the day of Alundra dropping the title in the trash can, Nitro gets a 2.7 and Raw gets a 2.3. You're coming off a pay-per-view the night after a pay-per-view and Nitro wins. That's got to be disappointing, right?
Yeah, it's disappointing anytime that you're not successful in ratings. So, yeah, definitely disappointing.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.